Today is Monday, May 8th, 2017, and today we got to talk about racial segregation. That's right. In 2017, we're talking about racial segregation in school. And on school I'm talking about is Harvard University. Yes, Harvard University, the Ivy League, well-to-do, very expensive school, is having a blacks-only graduation ceremony. Now, this graduation ceremony is only for grad students, but it will eventually be expanded to all other students. Now, the rationale behind this, and by the way, they were planning it for about a year, so it's not something that just happened just on a spur or on a moment's notice. It's not just something that, some black students decided to try and organize at the last minute. It's been planned for quite a while. It's only for grad students right now, but it will eventually be expanded to all other students. Now, I'm not quite sure if that means all other races, but I digress. I'll get to that in a minute. They said, people that organize it, that is, they said it's to celebrate Harvard's black excellence and to talk about the specific issues that black people face and to have your friends and family there and to share the experience together as black people. I'm paraphrasing, but I'll put a link to the actual article in the box below from the Daily Caller and also from BET, where I think it actually originated from, which is actually hilarious. Being inside BET is actually white owned now, but I'm going to digress yet again. So that is the rationale behind it, that it's something good for the black students that are there. It's something that they can share culturally, et cetera, et cetera. This school is not the only school that has this. You also have it at Stanford, Temple, and Columbia. They have black student graduation ceremonies that are separate away from the regular student body, which is really crazy. I mean, it's funny how a lot of these places are so liberal. They're so tolerant. They're so open, but yet day after day, they really reveal to us who the real racists were, who the real segregationists were, who are the real people that want to separate school by race and want to keep people out and all this, that, and the third. I mean, we saw that when Betsy DeVos tried to go to the school in Washington, D.C., and then you had the black guy and the white guy. I don't want to assume anybody's sexuality or anything like that, but it was a very suggestive position they were in. I mean, they're looking like they were riding a bike with no bike, like a motorcycle with no motorcycle. It was very weird how they were like on top of each other, but they were blocking the entrance to the school and preventing Betsy DeVos from coming into the actual school. It's the same thing that was going on with George Wallace blocking the entrance to the school back in the day, who was also a Democrat. And that's one thing that people, they're not talking about. They're not talking about how these racial things, racially segregated, racially grouped, race this, race that, race this, that, and the third. All of that comes from the Democrat Party. All of that comes from the left. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say that there's never any racism that comes from the right or anybody that may call themselves a centrist or an agnostic politically. That'd be just false of me to say. But the reality is most of these cases we see in the news day after day, week after week, year after year, come from the same source. I say 80 to 90%. Even though those same people try to say that it's us, those of us that are on the right, or those of us that may be kind of a centrist or agnostic towards politics, they say it's us that's the racist and not them. They especially say it's us on the right. If you're a conservative at all, if you believe in freedom of choice, freedom of different things, and that's the thing right there. See, conservatives, we mostly believe in freedom of choice, right? But the liberal, they're saying, well, no, there's no choice. And here's another question. If you are a black person and you choose not to participate in a ceremony, how does that work? It's like, do you sign up for it? Like, how does that really work? And do they accept anybody that claims to be black? Because let's not forget, I did a video the other day about if you can be transgender, why not transracial? What happens when that starts to happen? Are you going to accept them as well? Sean King went to a black college on a scholarship that was designated for a black male. So if he wants to go to a black graduation ceremony, let's say he went to Harvard for some odd reason, or he went to Columbia, Temple, or etc., that have separate black graduations, even though the school is mostly white. Let's say he went there and signed up for the black graduation ceremony. Would he be accepted? Would he be just allowed to come in? He's obviously white as snow. That's pretty much been determined. I don't know how anybody thinks this guy's white. I mean, it's because he has a low haircut and like a little goatee and a little mustache looking like a rapper named T.I. Just because he has that going on does not mean he's black. I mean, that disguise is not really a good disguise. If that's his black guy disguise, that's worse than Batman or Superman or Robin. I think Robin from Batman has better disguise than that guy with the eye cover. That looks better than this guy's disguise, but I'm going to move on. What if you have people that are actually white that claim to be black that decide they want to go to an all black graduation ceremony, because I don't know how it really works. Like I said, is it sign up? Are all the black students required to do that? Now, if that's going on, you're anti freedom of choice. You're anti freedom of association. You're anti freedom. You're like a communist. And that's going on a lot in the black community. I won't even go down that rabbit hole because that's a whole nother video I could talk about at a different time. And here's the question. Why not just go to a black school? Now, I know I get to retort, oh, the black schools do not have the kind of funding. They do not have the medical programs, is that and the third, that, you know, an Ivy League. Well, why don't they? Why not? I mean, what makes the school like Harvard better than a school like Hampton? You tell me. And you got a lot of people that have gone there, a lot of black people that are successful. Then why can't they donate back to the school and give their time back to the school? You got a lot of black teachers that go to predominantly white schools, make a lot of money. Why not go to a black school, make less money, but be able to make the school better than what it is? Why not? See, a lot of these kids are just virtue signaling. They're going to a mostly white school. They may feel guilty about not going to a black school. So therefore, they got to have this all black college graduation ceremony to make themselves feel better, to make themselves feel like they're still part of the black community. They have not sold out, et cetera, et cetera. But my thing is, just go and graduate like everybody else. Don't have a separate thing, because what if you would have an all white ceremony just for the white students to celebrate white excellence and the white advancements? I mean, you have more of an actual claim for that than the black students at a predominantly white school. If you are at a black college, maybe the other way around, because a lot of them are founded by black people, former slaves, and it was a way to get blacks into the labor market, to give them skills and to get them up out of slavery and into society. So at a black school, the whole black thing may make more sense. But at a white school, let's just be honest, who are the actual people that made the school what it is? Who are these schools named after? Let's just be real. So really, they have more of a claim to celebrate white excellence and white accomplishments than a black person would be at that same school to celebrate black success, black accomplishments, et cetera, et cetera. What if whites decided they wanted to do that same thing? What would the reaction be to that? I'm curious. And it's not a silly question. It's a real question. You know, my thing is, as I close here, my thing is I just want things to be equal on equal terms. So it can't just be, well, the black people, we had slavery, this, that, and the third, so we're at a special place. No, all of that, look, it doesn't even really matter. At the end of the day, we're human beings. I'm a man, just like somebody white is a man, just like somebody's Asian is a man. All the other races in the world, we're all men. If you're a woman, you're a woman. If you feel like you're not a man or a woman, that's your business. You need to go to the hospital to get that checked out, but I digress. Whatever you are just a human being like everybody else. So there shouldn't be any set aside treatment, any kind of special concessions for people based upon their skin color, based upon their heritage, based upon their background or whatever. We're all Americans. We should be treated the same. It shouldn't be all these little separate things. And if we're going to have separate things, then those same privileges must be afforded to everybody. It can't just be, on a race to race basis. It's got to be all races. You should be able to have your own little thing. And if you can't, then it's just hypocritical and it's really silly. But at the end of the day, I think Harvard is really shameful for allowing this to happen. You're talking about one of the most respected schools in the world allowing segregation to happen in their school in 2017. It's really shameful. And if that's going to happen, then it has to be allowed the other way around. We're talking about white students. And if it's not, that's just unfair, period. So that's pretty much all I got to say. What say you? Do you think this is a good idea to have a blacks only graduation ceremony for the grad students at Harvard University and also at, I think maybe Columbia, Temple, and Stanford? Is that the right way to go to celebrate black excellence? Or should they just graduate with everybody else? All the other grad students graduate together. It should not be separate ceremonies based upon your race. Everybody should just walk together and engage in that. Because at the end of the day, I'll say this, and I'm done for real this time. At the end of the day, when you're out there in the real world, there will be no separate ceremonies of different people. There will be no separation. You got to be out there engaging in the free market just like everybody else. There is no designation. You got affirmative action, but that's a whole different story. But I'm talking about just you as an individual, whoever you are watching, you got to make sure that you are the best you can be. It can't be, well, I'm black and I'm going to just base my whole thing on that. No. You got to be the best person you can be, period. It doesn't matter what comes your way, you got to be best you can be. So this whole thing about excluding others for your ceremony because of your certain skin color, that is not going to fly once you're in the real world. So just keep that in mind if you are in favor of this whole silly thing over there at Stanford, Harvard, Columbia, etc. So whatever your comments are, let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.